Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Eddie here, Eddie Makes Art. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I was recently gifted these wonderful pots of color. These are colored stains, infusions, and they are powdered colors, powdered pigments. They are made by Paper Artsy. You can find them on paperartsy.com. I looked them up, and basically it's two kinds of elements in here. It's a powder. First you have your pigment dye, and then they add a walnut stain, walnut stain crystals, I guess you call them, and in a certain combination where when you add water to them, it creates all sorts of really interesting, color variations and all kinds of fun stuff. So I've never used these before. I've seen it done, but I thought I'd swatch them out with you. I got 17 different colors here. All right, and you'll notice they have holes in the top, and the reason I did that is some of them I got already that way. So, basically it's easier way to pour out, so you don't have to open it and, end up dumping the whole thing. Because from what I understand, a little goes a long way. So I poked holes in the rest of them, so we get a little bit of powder at a time instead of a ton. And then for tools, I got a watercolor brush just in case. I got a couple of pipettes, some water here, and then I got a spray bottle too. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can put the powder down onto your paper. I'm using watercolor paper here, probably middle of the range watercolor paper, nothing fancy, but nothing cheap. It's sturdy. I've gone ahead and written out the colors of the name of the color of each infusion. So, what I was saying is you can do it two ways. There is putting the powder down, and then you hit it with water, either with the dropper or you spray it. Or you can put water on your paper and then add your powder into that and like dust it over. These are good for paper and fabric and anything absorbent. So they work well. This is according to the website. So, like I said, I've never tried these before. Let's give it a shot and we'll see what happens. Swatch them out and we'll see what we have as far as colors and granulations and all that fun stuff. And so let's start with his Golden Sands. So these are little plastic bottles. They look like that. They get a little code. So like this one is CS05, a little birdie. And it says sprinkle on the surface and spritz with water. But you can do it both ways. So I'm just going to lift this up. Let's add some on the paper and start playing around. That's probably too much, but we'll see. Let's start with some water from the pipette. I'll just do a couple drops. Let that do its thing. I want to try and get it where I don't want to move it too much in certain areas to see what kind of look I get there, and then maybe over here we can spray some water down and then put a little bit of powder on there. FYI, if you hear any background noise like banging and yelling, I've got a couple of workers upstairs on the second floor of the house clearing out, all kinds of stuff. So please excuse that. Now this is a Golden Sands, and it's kind of like, I like this shading here is kind of like a tortoiseshell, like when you have your tortoiseshell glasses. And this is, again, this is just plain water. And I'm doing this on a silicone mat so it's easy to clean up. I'm just gonna move this around and see what we get. Come on. I'm trying to be careful because I don't have a huge card here. Very interesting. And let me hold this up into the phone technology here so you can see all the different colors from the one powder. All right. Now, like I said, I've never done this before. I think that might be a little too much water. So I'm gonna come in with a paper towel and soak some of this up. And then, let's see if my heat tool's on. Now, I didn't dry completely because I want some of it to dry on its own, because sometimes that also affects the final look. But yeah, it's like an amberish coloring. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the dust. Call it dust, it's a powder. And just on the outer edges, just to see what effects we can get where it's not, you know, when there's not so much water. Maybe we can give this a little assist here. Just spread it out. It's very intense, that's for sure. You see all the flecks here. These are from where I was just shaking it. See? And that's fun to play with. It's like watercolor, where if you want to create blooms or, you know, add some shadow into an area, doing a wet technique, take a little water. Here, just go into that deeper color and add that in there. Okay, I'm gonna set that one side to dry. All right, this one's called Orange County. And I think it's a black. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, geez, I got tape all over my hand now. So I'm just going to add some here. Okay. And then I'm going to spray it, but from up here. I think I'm spraying it too close. Okay, I'm seeing this. You seeing this? This awesomeness. Yeah, I put too much water on that first one. And now there's still a lot here that hasn't dissolved, so I can come in with a pipette, some water. Maybe do a little couple of, if I can be delicate, drops. Let's see what, kind of just shake it about. Could even maybe come in that way like that. Very interesting. So you see, I guess what the walnut crystals do is they add a sort of, well, they definitely add a deepness to the color. And then just to create this variety that's like really funky and grungy. I'm gonna spread a little bit there. Let's see what will come up. It's a lot darker than I expected, that's for sure. However, it does have to dry, and sometimes these things, they dry lighter. I know in watercolor, they dry lighter than when they are wet. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's set that one over here to dry. And then the next one I have is Are You Cerise? Where are you, Cerise? Okay. So for this one, how should we start this one? I'm gonna start with, I'm just gonna spray, light spray on there. Kind of got most of the card, you know, not too heavy. Just like, if you can see, just a little bit. Let me sprinkle some of that on. And you don't need much, I'm finding. And that is kind of... Okay, so I'm gonna let that, maybe hit it with a couple of drops of water. Help it move around. Soak that up. Let's see, let's try the brush. Make a little flower there. Very cool. I'm enjoying this a lot. This is very much like watercolor, except it's definitely stronger. Like here, look at that. Very, very intense. And I can take some of this dark and then maybe come here on the tip, add a little bit of darkness there. Maybe do some here. I love that. That is Are You Cerise? It's, I want to say, I know in Spanish, cereza is cherry. So I am going to go on a limb, out on a limb, and call this cherry because cerise sounds a lot like that, the word in Spanish. And this looks very cherry to me. Cool. Our next color is raspberry. Let's do that again. I'm going to spray a little bit more. Maybe more at the bottom, less at the top. So, yeah, these are out of order, but that's okay. There's really no order. I just kind of grouped them by colors. Let's try this one. This one's intense. I'm gonna go ahead and spray again, and I'm kind of up here, like you see my hand. There we go. Kind of up here. See, you got some. There's blues in there. There's tans or browns. Wow. That is like super cool. And that helps too, is how high you are spraying from. And this is more of a fine mister as opposed to, like, you know, obviously a larger bottle, but that's really, yeah. All right, let's let this black currant. This should be nice. This is black currant. Very dark, very dark. Let's do this one. Let's do some drops of water and then add the powder on top of that. And we'll see what kind of effect we get with that. This is interesting. It sits right on top and on the edge. See that? I want to let that maybe sit there like that and dry like that. And then maybe over here I'll do some with the spray. So I'm going to go powder first, and then the spray, or then water. Oh, that's so cool. Let's see. I love the variation in shades, colors. You can see that on the edge there. It's got a blue tinge there, a little more blue, more tan down here. And then here, you see a little bit of everything there. Really, really beautiful color. It's like a jewel tone. I want to let those dry like that though. So let me move those. More red, we got Frankly Scarlet. Frankly Scarlet is here. No, here we go. Looks like cayenne pepper, that's for sure. So let's do this one again with, I'm just gonna spray here. And you see the stuff gets everywhere. This leftover powder there from one of the previous ones. So just see. Come on. You want to come out? Maybe if I tap down the bottom. Where do you see this? That. Look at that. Have you ever cut into, I think it's a passion fruit. This reminds me of the inside of a passion fruit. So if we take, maybe we take a brush, some water, kind of drag this out a little bit here in the center. You can see what's going on. This has a kind of a nice peachy undertone. Got some raspberry here. Very, very nice color. Orange. Oh, that's awesome. That one is Frankly Scarlet. Okay. It's going to be fun looking back through these once they're all completely dry. All right, there's a lot of stuff there. What I'm going to do, I have a blank one here. Let's see, I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to put, spray this with water. It's just a, an experiment, right? Again, this is just a silicone matte. Isn't that cool? Look how much color was on there. Just from hitting the bottom of that pot just a little bit. Look, it's still coming up. Mixed media, here we come. These backgrounds are gonna be awesome. Look at that, that's a great little card there. You can make this into a tag. Oops, I'm rubbing a little too hard, Eddie. Calm down. I'm excited. What can I say? All right, let me set that aside before I ruin it. And give this a quick little wipe down. And for our next trick, the next color is magenta. Here we are. Let's do a little dusty dust. All right, that is a magenta. And we'll get our little pipette. Oh, let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more so you can enjoy what I'm seeing. I kind of like the splat from high up. Oh, yeah, look at that. See how intense that is right there? Very, very intense. It gets a little lighter. Let's see how much lighter I can get this one. It's a lot of water. Eddie, calm down. It's a beautiful shade to when you're painting a rose petals. Very nice. I'm just going to try and suck up some of this water here. I'm reverting back to my watercolor days where if you rip the end of a smooshed up paper towel and you come in to a puddle, you can suck in some of that extra water you may have put down. This one doesn't seem to be working today. Let's see. Usually it just sucks it up. Well, I got enough up. Let's see. I want to get that little shake, little wiggle. Oh, look, you see how that went in there? Oh, very cool. Okay, I'll let that dry. Made a little room. Let's get to the next one. Terracotta. Terracotta. Let's do, how about, I'm going to use the brush for this one. I'm just going to brush some water on here. And then dust a little powder. Terracotta, okay. This is pretty intense already. Let me give this little spray here. A little bit more there. Ooh, see, there's like a blue, there's raspberry, kind of a more magenta in there. But as you mix it around, you get to more of that terracotta color. And I'm sure if I took the brush and I mixed it completely, I'd get that, you know, terracotta color. But like this, you get so much more variation and interest. Oh, cool. Very nice, very nice. Shortcut. Okay, right? Okay. For the next color, we have Emerald Isle. And that one is here. It looks olive, but you know, like they say, looks can be deceiving. You know what? Let's I'm gonna put just the powder on the paper first. Okay. See, I'm getting better at controlling how much I put out there. I mean, I guess it depends on what look you're going for, you know, so, but I just want to get, you know, an idea of the color variations that each one will give me. Oh my gosh, look at that. It looks pretty dull in the jar. I have to admit, right? It's like olive, but wow. We call that a color explosion. Now, you know what I didn't do with the other ones is I'm gonna take some more powder and add a little bit more to the top to where that is more wet. Now I'm talking about emerald. Look at that. Sort of the nucleus. Let me hit that with a little bit of spray or water. This is wonderful, wonderful color. Look at that. Very oceany, you know, vibes. Yeah, great. That's a great color. Moving right along. Next up is Green Man. Green Man. Looks very dark. This looks almost black from, you know, just looking at it with the naked eye. Let's put some water down. Let me clean up, see. Got all that there. I need to get more cards so I could scoop that up, but for now, let's keep playing with these colors here. Yeah, there we go. I almost opened the whole jar. So let's see here. Ooh, looks like fireworks, doesn't it? Now this one's very nice. Got your like a cyan, you've got a nice yellow, more of a mariner's blue, you've got some green. Use some of this here. Ooh. It gets really, it's really intense. And look at that. You can even push it around. Get really abstract-y with it. That's a word, abstract-y. That's going to look cool. See, this reminds me of, again, watercoloring. If you take, sometimes I'd use the back of my brush, or you could use like a plastic scraper here, and you could scrape into the paper. And then the pigment will go right into that. And when it dries, you get this really interesting effect, because that color gets right into that indentation, and it's more intense than everything around it. So you get a really cool abstract look here. Very nice. All right. Next up, I'm looking at the corner of my eye at the ones drying, and you're gonna love how they look, because they're changing, and the true color is really showing up. All right, next one, olive tree. Where's the olive tree? Here we are. Okay, this one is here. So let's do this one dry. Gotta do the sound effects. Olive tree. Let's use the brush for this one. It's similar to the last one, but it's not, it doesn't have that intense darkness. It's much softer, but it has the same color variations. Let me add some more to the top here where it's already wet. And let's see if it gets any more intense. I mean, it could, obviously, if I keep adding more of the pigment, but it's definitely not as intense as the previous color. Ooh, very cool. So let me show you here. And as it's already drying in certain parts, I can see the olive coming out. I can understand why it's called olive tree. Very nice. Okay. Whoops a daisy, I'm knocking stuff over. I apologize. There's water. Okay. Let's do a little cleanup here. So the next color is sage. This is a great project I picked for today because it's absolutely miserable outside. It's just pouring rain. So this is a good, fun, rainy day project. So sage reminds me of the olive, kind of similar, looks a little bit darker. Let's see what it do. Just want to get this brush out of the way. I'm gonna, here, let's go dry first. So powder on dry paper, watercolor paper. Some more intense ones out. I'm trying to get some into the, here we go, more in one area than others to see how that kind of, that look, the variation is. So from high up high, I'm gonna spray. Not the color I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting something a little more, a little softer, but I really like this. There's some orange in there. The blues, green. I'm going to see if I can hold that close enough so you can see all that. There's some really beautiful colors coming out. Very nice. Very nice. Where'd I go with sage? Do sage? The sage. I'm going to put a little bit more powder on here. I just want to see how that affects the color. Very neat. Got like really detail in there. I'm excited. Blue's my favorite color. So the next one is in the navy, where we sail the 7 seas in the navy. All right. That's dope. Whoa, whoa, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. That is an amazing color. Very amazing. Let me see if I can get some drops here. All right. Watch how that spreads. Oh, wow. It's intense down there. Let's see. Ooh. That's wonderful. I'm just going to take some of this and empty it on there. Should have been doing this from the beginning, but that's cool. That is so nice. I just want to get in here with the brush too, because sometimes I want to see how it plays with the brush. Oh, that's nice. I like with the watercolor, you can come in and pull some of that color back and lighten it up. See, and that's, I didn't put any, I'm just putting water on here, but these powders are very pigmented. So you get a lot of bang for your buck, that's for sure. Next color is Slate Blue, but it's written like sleigh blue, you know, slate. Haha, funny. Okay, for this one, let's start with a little bit of, let's start with some water. Just, Ooh, this is like a carnival of colors. Can you see that? Let's see if we can get some going this way. Oops. That's okay. Oh, wow. This has a great variety of colors, but I can see the slate starting to come in. You see that down there? That's more the slate. Let me take some of that there that's spilled. You can see there, yeah. See, that's very concentrated there. But, oh, look at that. But it gives you an idea of, you know, different amounts of water, you know, different tools or how you apply the water will give you different looks. So you have it all on one card here. All right. Oh, that's wonderful. Royal Blood. Ooh, getting wicked here. Royal Blood. Let's again do this one on the dry and then add the water. All right, so what I'm going to do is just see if I can get this. That's intense, huh? I mean, I made a mess of it here, but we add a little bit more. That's a lot more, but that's okay. It's just paper. Ooh, now this is just, it's intense. But I'm trying to see what color is it really trying to be. Do the last two. So the next one I want to do is Black Night. Black is night, night is black. All right, let's use the good old-fashioned spray bottle on this one. Let's see what we get. I can see some yellow, a little yellow in there. I can see a kind of little bit of blue. Let's try some. You know what I want to do with this one is do the this little scratch technique. Let's see what kind of cool effects this does. Definitely black, but you can see there's some like little sort of greenish olive greenish background. And that I'm assuming is probably because there's the walnut stain in here, and then there's some yellow in there. There's some blue in there, so that all kind of works together to get you there, I guess. All right, set that aside. And then the last one I saved for the end because it's like a I don't know. I'm assuming it's sort of a brown, but I don't know. It's called Rocky Road. Let's give it a shot. Very last one here. And I think for this one, let's wet the paper first. And then sprinkle it on and see what it do. Oh. Save the best for last, that is for sure. It's like fireworks. Oh boy, I'm excited. That's a great one. This is like a party in a jar. Whoa, everything's flying. Drop of water in there. Oh my God, look at that. There's so many things in there. Let's try to do a little scratchy scratch here. Let's see what happens. And then once that dries, you really get to see that the effect of the scratching. That is great. Okay, so some of these are still pretty wet. So I'm gonna pause the camera and then I'll come back for you in a second, for me after I dry each one. Okay, I've dried them all. And I have to say there's some really cool effects. So this is the first one. This is Golden Sands. And as you can see, it's got a lot of great depth and variation here. I can go, you know, as light and muted here. And then there's some bright here, then very dark. And like almost like a honey color. Very cool. And then here's Orange County. And this one, I hope you can see this well. Also, again, you know, it shows the really cool variations in the pigment. And you get a nice, like a dark edge, which is really cool. I think this one we did with, I put it on the, I dusted it onto the card and then added drops of water. I think that's what we did for that one. This one's Terracotta. And you can see up here, definitely more in that burnt orangey kind of range. But it can go over to the very light, like a peachy kind of pinkish color too, which is nice. So I love about these. They have great variation in the colors. This one's a fun one. This is the Frankly Scarlet. And this was another one we did. I put the powder onto the card and then just took a dropper and added drops of water all around. As you can see, some of this is still, I don't know if you can hear that, it's still unwet. Hasn't been really touched. Now, from what I understand, these will stay active unless you seal them or what have you. But let's just do a little test. So I just wet my brush here. See if we can activate some of these parts here that look like it's just the granules. Yeah, so it's happening. Things are moving. So yeah, these will reactivate. Interesting. That makes for more cool effect possibilities. All right, let's get going. This was a fun one too. This was Rocky Road. This was like a surprise one. I didn't know what to expect. And we did I did little scrapes here into the paper. Now, as you can see, there's definitely a lot of crystals still left there, the powder. I guess we can call this crystals. I don't know. But let me drop some water on here. See, this is still very, very concentrated in here. Now, I could certainly leave that alone and not mess with it, but I could keep painting with it too. Look at how much, there is a lot in there. So this is something I think would need to be sealed, especially if there's any chance that you may get, you know, water or some sort of liquid on it. But I love that. All the different colors of the rainbow in there. And this one is Are You Cerise? So we decided this was a cherry color. And you can see it definitely a cherry color. It spreads nicely. Down here I've got a little more that's dried, but I can feel that it's waiting to be reactivated. Just move that one there. Here's the raspberry. This one's nice, very dark violet, kind of red violet. We have black currant, much darker here. But again, you get some great color variation going on there. And these three dots I left. I remember I put the dot of water, the bead of water on the paper, and then added the powder to it, and then just let it dry. And these are the 3 variations that I got. So obviously this one has less of that pigment in it than this one. Okay, and the magenta. This is a great color. Yeah, this would make a great color for painting a rose. In the navy. This one definitely has military vibes. You've got some olive tones in there. Now, if you see this red here, this was because I spilled some of this on there. It kind of flipped over while I was transporting them. Yeah, look at that. That's still, let me get a little spray bottle here. Let's see what we can do here. If we can move any of this. Try to see. Plenty there to play with. So that'd be something fun to experiment with, is doing a layer of a piece or, on some card, letting that dry completely, but without completely dissolving everything, and then coming back and reactivating certain parts and then drying it again. That would be a cool experiment. Actually, you know what I want to try? Lifting. Something you do often in watercolors. You can lift to create a different look. A very grungy color. I like this color. Very cool. And then this one's a slate blue. It's another grungy color. I made another boo-boo there, but you can see though, still there is red within this pigment combo. Got that pale blue there, got yellow, some grays. It's very cool. Definitely on the grungy side. And here is the sage. And this one surprised me. This one I thought was going to be a lot softer, and it's actually not, but I really like it. The variation is just really insane here. Very cool. This is another good one. This is the olive tree, or olive tree. Yeah, you definitely get like that, olivey, very like, off the tree kind of color. And I don't know if you can see there's a face right there. It's a lady's face looking that way. If you can see it, let me know. Let me see if I can hold it up closer without distorting it. Can you see that? Very cool. And then this is Green Man, and this one we did the scratches into the paper too. And you see how the color gets really into the grooves and gives you a cool effect. And then the blooming over here gives you a nice, this looking line here, this like grungy line. But as grungy as this is, look how bright some of the other less activated pigment is. And then obviously this has more pigment that can be reactivated, but we won't play with that one just yet. Here's some Emerald Isle. This is a fun one. It doesn't look like it's going to be anything exciting, and then, turned out great. I put this one on the paper, just the pigment powder on the paper, dry, and then sprayed it. And so you get this really great array of color. And then as you get into it, it gets darker and more textured, and it's really cool. These are going to be fun to play with. This one's Royal Blood. Interesting name, but it's a cool color. Definitely on the grunge pile. And then this is Black Knight. And I like this black because it's not like so black, so black. But it has the possibility, depending on how much of that pigment you let sit in certain areas. But you see here in the lighter areas, it's a really cool variation of, there's some tans and grays. Really cool. And then you see where we did the scratching. That that color gets really in there and holds well. Awesome. So thanks for spending some time with me today and swatching out some of these colored stains infusions. These are, again, these are from Paper Artsy. Paperartsy.com is where you can get these. And yeah, I think they're great. And so I'll be making more videos using these awesome new pigments. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.